So this weekend it was very busy. We were working on trying to get the the rudder back in working order so that it would so we can steer the boat. The issue is the rudder. The cables, they're steering cables, and so it's a pull system. So as you turn the wheel, it pulls and it then turns the rudder. And the cable around the pulley, as we were going to reinstall it, which is a stranded steel cable, I found some frayed strands in it, which means it's time to replace. And then in digging into that, we found that the pulleys, the turning blocks as it comes down out of the pedestal, were never aligned correctly, and so there was a whole bunch of chafe on the copper. Essentially, it's just a copper nipple that they put in, and so there's actually a whole bunch of chafe. Let's see if you can see that right here from that cable over the years. And so I don't think it was ever lined up even from the factory. Maybe it was, but we shifted it by almost a ½ inch, and so I'm guessing that it wasn't that far off from the factory. That was that far off, and it hasn't shifted that much. So, with that found, we were going to switch to Dyneema, so we had to move it a ½ inch back, and that created some issues. And then we were splicing the Dyneema, and I was struggling to get the length correct, and the Dyneema that we had, I was struggling to get it to splice cleanly, and that was very frustrating for me. So I spent way too much time trying to get the splices to work. So I have new Dyneema, which hopefully will splice easier for me. And it does seem to be, the strands seem to separate a lot easier. So it's a 12 strand braid, so you want to split it in the middle, half on each side. This stuff seems to work really well, so I think we'll have no issues getting some splices done. So yeah, this is splicing the steering cables for our boat, and I'll make one extra each. That way, in case something chafes or has issues, we can replace it. So we're just doing a locking Brummel splice. And if you want to know how to do that, there's a lot better people to explain it than me. So essentially you want 3 going one way, 3 going the other on each side. So split in the middle. The other thing of note is I've been working on battery boxes to house our battery bank. And once the steering cables are in, then we can do the batteries. So it's kind of waiting on one to complete the other. So once this cable is made, then we can put the batteries in, wire those. Still waiting on the electric motor. Hopefully that comes this week. So I'll relieve some of my anxiety of not having it yet. If not, we'll make do. So gotta make this, and I'll have to tension this splice to make sure I get all the stretch out. I believe it's 102 inches is what I need for the length of the rope or line. I don't know how you'd classify it. Steering cable, but it's not a cable, so let's see. There we go. I just gotta bury the tail. What other projects have I worked on? We got a battery charger that's now installed. I just need to finish the wiring, but I ran out of the rings to terminate it onto the big bus bars. other thing we have been working on is the nav, so the helm, I guess. We have built a box that's going on it that will hold the throttle. Because we're going electric with our boat, we have an electronic throttle now, and so it'll hold that module. And it will also, hopefully at some point, hold like potentially a windlass control, if we ever get to that point. And maybe a like autopilot control, a little plus minus doodad. So sometimes it's hard to forward think on every single project. Oh, well, how is it going to be used in the future? But trying to the best we can. Alrighty. Pull the spice down. Look at that. Looks nice. So today we got the rudder installed in the boat, and that allows space in here at the parents' workshop to build battery boxes, which are actually what these are. Yesterday I built four battery boxes. Each battery box is going to hold 400 amp hour lithium batteries, and they'll all be in series, and then the 4 will be in parallel, so it'll be 400 amps of power at 48 volts to create a battery bank. So tonight my goal is to prime them, and then I'll probably put a finished coat of paint on them at some point, probably just white topside paint, just to kind of make them mostly waterproof. But we're getting a primer on it, so then at least the inside and outside has one coat of primer. And down, and up, and down, and up. That cover so I can get to it, and then I'm going to need one long red, one long black, and then 3 shorts.
This is so confusing.
What?
Nothing. Yeah, it is. Trying to not drop it too. Do the short cables matter?
No.
They're just short. One long red, one long black, and one short? 3 shorts.
So this pile of 3D printed parts is going to be like a helm box, and we'll have our throttle control in it, and a compass, and maybe at some point an autopilot control if we get an autopilot. So it's all going to get fiberglass. I got to sand everything down so the fiberglass will stick. And I'm going to do 1708 to get pretty good strength. So all of this glass is going on the inside of the box, so I'm going to cut and take the line just a little bit smaller. Should give us the ability to wrap it on the inside and not have it bunch all up, which is why these overhang, because these all sit on top of this panel. And we'll cut this circle out that way. The goal is to do all of this in one setup if it actually works. So we'll actually have glass on the lid, and we'll try to flip the lower section that's all taped up onto this, and then reach in and carefully like wet the glass out onto the edge. That way it's all one solid intersection. In theory. Reality might be completely different. In the second layer, I only want to go about halfway up each side. Same with the top, that way you get 2 full layers on all the sides of the box. And the reality is, I'm really just kind of winging this, hoping it all turns out. Alright, I built one of these for the first boat. It wasn't bad. There's probably a little bit of structural stuff that I know now that could have made it a lot better. that. So you want to do what's going to be easier. You're going to do this and you're going to unfold it. Unfolding it all together is going to be easier. So you want to do a short one, place the long one on top of it. Okay. Alrighty, so there's our purple helm box. It will not stay purple. It'll clash pretty good with the yellow, but I've got 2 layers of 1708 on the top and the bottom. Then there's 2 layers on the entire sides, and then there's a little bit of an overlap on all of the sides. So this should be pretty solid, and then I think we're going to do 2 more layers of 1708 on the outside of it all. So when we're done, hopefully it never breaks. Alright, so I have all my fiberglass patterned out, cut, ready to be epoxied and applied. So this is, we're working on this helm box again. So it warped a little bit. You can see I had sanded through the outer layer into the core material, the infill, I guess, material for these. Mostly I got it too warm and it melted and warped on me. It's still solid, just sanded into that. So we're gonna do the bottom first. There's gonna be a plate, and then we're gonna go around the sides, and then the top will be the same way. So I think it'll be 4 layers of 1708, 2 on the outside, 2 on the inside, and then the sides also will have 4 layers. And I should be plenty strong. I already stood on the box earlier today because I was like, oh, I wonder if it's strong enough. So stood on it, didn't creak or groan or make any weird noises. So feeling pretty confident in it. So yeah, let's get to glassing, and I won't be able to touch the camera.